You cannot tap into the mind of God if you are stressed. In today's video, we're going to talk about how tension ruins the communication between yourself and God. Let's get into this video. So I want to start this off by setting the base. In today's time, in the world of today, there is a lot of tension, but not just tension outside. You see things on the news with other countries on the global scale, on the political scale, right? But there's a lot of tension within each and every individual. We are at a serious mental health crisis that we are internally confused about what route or what direction we should be going in. And with this tension creates anxiety, it creates depression, it creates bad nerves, it increases your blood pressure, your cortisol, and that leads to effects that I couldn't even name all in this video. But the problem is that when you're tense and when you're stressed out, it's a direct signal to God that you have little faith. And I say that because if you have a definite route that you're going on, a definite purpose, a definite path that you chose, you know, or you should know, that this path will be tough. It will be hard. It will not be easy. And since you know that, you should be able to relax in the fact that you know the journey is going to be tough. So things is going to come about and I can't stress about it. I have to ground myself. Now, I'm not saying you won't get stressed out, but it is how you handle it, right? And how you bring yourself back to a calm state is the key. If you can put yourself in a condition or a state of meditation, that's a direct signal to God that you have faith, right? I'm calm, I'm relaxed. Why? Even if we may know that in the present moment is miserable right now, right? Things are going terrible. We can still relax in the fact that we know eventually this downward motion, this downward swing that we in will subside and it will swing to the upside, right? So in that relaxation, it shows God how much faith we have in Him and in His plans and in His power, right? Faith is the language of the universe by far. Nothing will manifest without faith that it will actually manifest, right? But that has to go through all of the hardships and the ups and downs and the blockades and the barricades and the routes, the different detours. It has to go through all of that in order to make it to actual manifestation. So for me, right, I've always been an overthinker. It's always been but I didn't see it as a problem. But when I turned 18, I started to smoke weed because I was out of school. I wasn't doing sports no more. So I felt I was free enough to smoke some weed. So I started smoking weed, right? And I smoked it for about 3 to 4 years. And I was always an overthinker, but I felt like weed turned that overthinking into anxiety, right? To where I was always confused. I was indecisive. I was confused about what routes I would take, and the routes that I was taking, were they the right paths? I was paranoid. I didn't know where my life was leading, and that's a terrible feeling. That's a terrible feeling. So I got into the practice of meditation because I felt I couldn't calm my mind down in no other way. My mind had gotten so chaotic and so out of control. I didn't know how I could calm it down and come back to that state of being cool, calm, and collected. So I started to practice meditation and breathing. And I'm gonna elaborate on it if you guys wanna take up this practice, because it will help tremendously on your journey. Now, of course, it's not an overnight solution. You're never gonna find an overnight solution. And with meditation, it takes consistent practice. And the first technique which is a basic technique, but it's very powerful, is focusing on your breathing. Whether you're breathing in and out your nose or taking it to a deeper level where you're taking deeper breaths and you're breathing in your nose, breathing out your mouth, full circulation of oxygen, right? And the key is focusing on your breathing, focusing literally on the breath coming in your mouth and the breath going out your mouth. And another key thing that is very important, your mind will wander. It will happen. I don't care who you are, your mind will wander. But when it does, you don't judge the thoughts that comes to your mind. And when you find your mind getting too chaotic and too out of control, you bring it back to your breath. Start focusing back on your breathing. And that's how you center yourself. Bringing yourself back to the present moment. And the present moment is a gift. That's why they call it the present. It's an everlasting opportunity when you live in the present. The present is where you want to be most of the time. Because anxiety is caused from being in the future too much, trying to figure out things before they happen. The past is being stuck in the past and not being able to move forward. So you start to think, oh, I'm my past mistakes. I'm my past errors. I'm a terrible person. I did this, that, and the third. But that's wrong. In the present time, that's where change happens. That's where opportunity is. That's where it's an opportunity to be more, to do better, to be better, right? Another meditation technique I use is sounds. Binaural beats. I would listen to 432 hertz, I believe. That's one of the ones I would listen to a lot. And I started recently to get into theta waves, which are lower hertz, which is like 10 hertz, 8 hertz, 6 hertz, which is a deep meditation to the point where you may even fall asleep. It lulls you to sleep, almost like it was hypnotizing you. But it's because you've gotten to this a pure state of relaxation to where it's time to go to bed, right? Your body started to calm down completely. And sound is powerful. If you notice when you listen to hip hop or faster paced music, your blood pressure rises, right? You start to become hotter. You start to become more aggressive, more hyped. You can do the same to get yourself in a calm state. Listen to slower sounds and slower music, right? Slower frequencies. And that was huge on my journey, to be honest, because I had trouble with meditation at first. Like I felt like my mind was wandering a little too much, that I wasn't getting the effects that I would want to get from meditation. But that was just because it takes time to practice. You go through 20 years of not meditating and you meditate for 2 months and you expect things to change. That's not how it works. But sound really helped me put myself in a deep state of meditation and relaxation. Another technique is, this is the basic technique, very basic, right? You don't even have to focus on your breathing. You just sit there, set out a time, 15 to 30 minutes, which I suggest you do for all of these techniques. Find a quiet place. I know some of us stay with our family and people, and they can be loud and obnoxious, but try to find a quiet place, go outside, go to your car, etc., etc. And this last technique is you don't even have to focus on your breathing. You just sit there and let your thoughts flow. Just let them flow. Don't judge them. Just sit back and let them flow. And when you find your thoughts getting too chaotic, bring it back with your breath and then let them flow again. You know, it's just a complete release of all tension of trying to control everything and let it flow. Be in the present and just observe. It's almost as if you're sitting in a chair and it's a movie playing out in your mind, and there are scenes and clips constantly going by. Just let them go by, right? Just observe and let them go by. Getting into this meditative and relaxive state will open up communication to God, because now God can talk to you because you're in a clear mind, you're in a sharp mind, you're calm, right? You're ready to receive something if He was ready to release something or give you something or reveal something to you, you're in a state where you can receive it and actually execute on it. If you notice, God gives us thoughts and ideas all the time. But when we're stressed out and when we're anxious, right, we might see that thought and be like, man, that's a good thought. But it's so much going on that that thought quickly leaves and we don't act on it. But it was an idea and a thought from God, right? And if we know it's an idea and a thought from God, we know it's needed and it has great purpose. So we want to be able to capture those thoughts when they come, write them down, make a video about them, record something, make some music, paint something, right? There's a reason you got that idea. You want to express it and execute on it. And in order to do that, you have to be relaxed. You have to be relaxed. Regardless, there's people that run huge companies, right? There's people that run businesses, multiple businesses, right? So it's a lot going on. But it's so key to be able to relax and bring yourself to a calm state so you can handle everything at a high level, right? And not get too emotional and not allow that to influence your effort and what you're doing with your business or your work. I hope that gave all of you that's watching great benefit and value. I appreciate y'all taking the time out to sit with me and digest this information. Yeah, man, I'm wishing y'all peace, happiness, love, abundance, all that great stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. I have a newsletter coming out soon, so stay tuned. Follow my Instagram if you want to get quicker updates, but I will be updating it on YouTube too. But I have a newsletter coming soon and clothing merch coming shortly after that. So y'all stay tuned. And yeah, that's it for this video, man. I appreciate y'all. Catch me in the next video. Peace, family.